Chris Griffin isn't just your average awkward teenager. He's a full-blown disaster in human form. Over the years, he's racked up a highlight reel of questionable, cringeworthy, and downright bizarre moments.
Ouch!
And honestly, some of them make Peter look like Father of the Year. Well, almost. Let's kick things off with one of his wildest misadventures. Fresh Heir, or as it should be called, How I Almost Married My Own Dad for Money.
Chris Griffin, will you marry me?
Huh?
Because when Grandpa Carter leaves Chris a massive inheritance, Peter does what any loving father would do, turns into a shameless gold digger. Buckle up, it's gonna get weird. 1. Fresh Heir, or how to gold dig your own kid. So, Peter, being the stellar father figure he is, decides that quality time with Chris is best spent. Not at all. Naturally, Chris wants that classic bonding moment, but Peter's about as interested as he is in dieting. But when Grandpa Carter breaks his leg, Chris is stuck babysitting him. And wouldn't you know it, they actually hit it off. Carter's practically throwing dollar signs at Chris, declaring him the heir to the family fortune. Meanwhile, Chris, sweet, lovable, doesn't know he's being manipulated. Chris is hesitant about the cash. This only makes Carter want to sign over his entire estate to him even more.
I don't even want the money.
Because if there's one thing billionaires love, it's someone who isn't money hungry. Hearing about this fortune, Peter launches into Operation Get Rich by awkwardly dressing like a teen.
Why are you dressed like that?
I don't know, I just kind of felt like this is what cool people wear. Hey, Chris, how about you and me do a secret handshake that has way too many steps to remember?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Dropping every cringe slang and failing hilariously at extreme stunts.
Hey, Chris, you remember that kid you said was bullying you at school? Well, here's his head.
Ah! That's not even him! That's the deaf kid!
Oh, that was sign language.
All he manages to do is make the guys wish Chris a happy relationship with whoever he's got in his life. Bingo! A light bulb goes off in Peter's head, and he proposes,
Will you marry me?
What?
no, not just figuratively, a literal gay marriage to Chris.
I don't know, it seems really weird. I mean, aren't men supposed to marry women?
No, that's just all of human history except for the last 5 months. We'll just be like best pals.
Chris, always one for family bonding, no matter how questionable, agrees. After all, what's a little wedding if it means Dad finally pays attention to you? So off they go to Vermont for a destination wedding, complete with a registry, a couple of matching tuxes, and some questionable flower arrangements.
Why do we have all these appointments? Wedding DJ, florist?
Because, Chris, it takes time to plan a perfect wedding.
Just as the I-dos are about to drop, Lois barges in like it's the third act of a rom-com, calling Peter out on his shameless scheme. But Chris, always 2 steps ahead, confesses he knew it.
Yeah, right.
I know he's marrying me for my money, but I don't care. Dad and I spent more time together planning this wedding than we ever have before. And if being married means I get to spend even more time with my dad, then it's worth it.
Father and son embrace. Lois sighs in mild acceptance. And Peter, well, he's just glad the honeymoon's canceled. And that's how, in true Griffin style, a family crisis almost turned into a wedding, but ended with the sweetest thing of all, a sort of okay dad and son relationship.
Aww.
2. Long John Peter. This episode kicked things off at the vet's office, where Chris is just minding his own business when he meets Anna. Suddenly, he's got a crush. But while Chris is all lovey-dovey, Peter is plotting a caper that would make even the most seasoned pirates roll their eyes.
You're very polite. You're very polite. You do not see that these days. You do not see that. I like you. I like you.
Peter spots a parrot at the vet and decides, That's mine now.
What's your name? I'm Peter. Peter! No way, that's my name! Hey, you should come home and spend the night at my house.
I mean, who needs a parrot for companionship when you can steal one and become a pirate? Soon enough, Peter's running around town dressed like Captain Crunch's long-lost cousin, Long John Peter. He recruits a crew of equally clueless mates, and they set sail on land. They loiter around town, looting British man Shelley Booth Bishop's car filled with sugarcane, tobacco, and spices. It's like a bad episode of the Great British Bake Off gone wrong. Picture a chaotic car chase complete with cannon fire and sword fights.
Oh no, privateers!
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean meets Dumb and Dumber. Meanwhile, Chris, trying to keep up with Peter's outrageous behavior, takes his crush on Anna seriously, until Peter gets in his head with the classic dad advice.
But a chick, you can't treat him too nice like.
Really?
Trust me, Chris, the next time you see this girl, treat her like crap. What? And you'll be cooler than a mid-80s novelty answering machine message.
Treat her like a lesser being. So, what does Chris do? He decides to put Anna down on their date, thinking this will score him some points.
Yes, can I have 2 tickets? 1 man and 1 bitch that needs to do what I say?
What? That's not funny, Chris.
Here's your ticket. Pick that up!
Newsflash, buddy. It just gets him dumped. Ouch!
I never want to see you again! I can't believe I thought you were special!
Heartbroken, Chris whines to Lois,
Chris, honey, what's wrong?
Anna took a dump on me.
who has to remind Peter that his advice might not be the best.
No shit, Sherlock.
Peter's attempts to set Chris up with other girls, let's just say they're as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Each date goes worse than the last, and Peter's ideas get more ridiculous by the minute. How about a nice dinner at the Clam? Cough, cough, cringe. Finally, after exhausting all his helpful suggestions, Lois tells Chris to take matters into his own hands. So, what does he do? He returns to the vet, grovels to Anna, and that's how they share a sweet kiss. It's almost touching, like a rom-com that forgot it was a Family Guy episode.
I get off at 4. I might just be up for a movie.
3. Teacher Heavy Pet. This time, Chris finds himself in trouble once again, this time involving some rather inappropriate private pictures. In Teacher Heavy Pet, we learn that Chris has been elected the dunce at Adam West High homecoming for the 4th consecutive year, despite only being a sophomore. Well, understandably, he's pretty low about it, although the bullying from his fellow peers does not make it easier for him. But life's about to get even weirder when Lois announces her new job as his substitute teacher. And no, she doesn't even have a master's degree, just a slightly convincing fake resume and a willingness to ruin Chris's social life.
You saw how unpopular I am at school. Having my mother as a teacher will make things worse.
But Lois charges in anyway. And to Chris's horror, his classmates are instantly infatuated with Mrs. Schmidt.
Did you score? If you close the deal with the teacher, you'll be a legend forever.
Nice.
As the day progresses, Chris grows increasingly anxious that someone will figure out who Mrs. Pewterschmidt really is. When the popular kids invite him over, they tease him about whether he thinks she's attractive. Chris reluctantly agrees to go along with the plan, but the look on his face screams, "What have I gotten myself into?" Then, as luck would have it, 2 guys almost catch him sliding into the car with Lois. Their hormones kick in faster than a bad prom date. Seriously.
Whoa, Griffin's a selfless lover!
The next day at school, the popular kids grill Chris about his supposed relationship, and he senses an opportunity to boost his status. He tells them a tale that's just realistic enough to draw their attention. Unfortunately, the story starts to wear thin, and the popular kids begin getting suspicious.
That's not. Tell us exactly what you and she did.
Chris's big moment of fame is crumbling, and he's left scrambling to explain his relationship. Chris is sweating bullets, struggling to come up with a good answer when his friends demand proof, a naked picture of Mrs. Pewterschmidt. Because, of course, nothing screams trustworthy like photographic evidence. Desperate, he sneaks into the bathroom, preparing to snap a pic. Just saying that makes you cringe harder than a dad joke at a family reunion. But just as he's about to go through with it, Quagmire appears, ready to dish out his usual questionable life advice.
You are a dirtbag. Own it.
So, that's all the pep talk Chris needs to snap the cringeworthy photo he thinks will secure his social status. The next day, he struts into school like a proud rooster, showing it off to the popular kids and who jump at the chance like hungry dogs. They quickly ask him to send it, but insist he promise not to share it. Spoiler alert, they're totally lying. Soon, the whole school, and even the principal, has seen the picture. Lois gets called to the principal's office, her heart racing as she worries they found out about her sketchy job qualifications, but instead, she's shown Chris's photo, leaving her in complete shock. Furious, Lois confronts Chris at home, giving him a choice. He can come clean, or she will. Huh? All Chris wanted was a bit of popularity, and surprisingly, Lois understands. He fesses up to his friends, but as his cool status crumbles, Lois jumps in with an over-the-top story to keep him from becoming a laughingstock.
Well, I told many of you that I was sleeping with Miss Pewterschmidt. I shared a shower photo of her.
If you haven't seen it yet, it's on the subreddit Soapkinis.
Huh?
In the end, Chris is back on top, while poor Lois somehow ends up with a prison sentence for dating a minor, only on Family Guy, right? If you love the wild ride of Family Guy's chaotic moments, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss any episode breakdown. Until next time, keep it real